Welcome back, everybody, to the Cleveland Cavaliers MyLeague here in NBA2K21, as today is one of the most important episodes of the series up to this point, the trade deadline. Obviously, our Cavs are in a very interesting position. We have played better than expected, currently 23-29, which if the season ended today would be good enough for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. So this team is still right in the thick of things in the playoff contention. Last episode, we made multiple trades, and there have been a lot of trades around the league, including John Wall going to the Knicks for Mitchell Robinson. The New York Knicks just will not stop being stupid, but at least they have a player they can market as a superstar now. I don't know. But we made three fairly big moves, our first three trades of the season. So the biggest one was Larry Nance to the Rockets for a pick swap and Jeremy Grant. I think Grant is better than Larry Nance, and we're getting the better of our pick and Houston's pick this year, and the Rockets are worse than us. They suck. We traded a few bench warmers for Udoka Azubuike and Frank Mason, along with a second this year, and then we traded Dante Exum for a pick swap and Trey Lyles. So currently we are the 8th seed, as mentioned earlier. I think we're a game and a half ahead of the 9th seed, but I think if we were in the Western Conference, we'd be like the second or third worst team. It's literally 14 good teams in the West, and then the Rockets, and then in the East, as you can tell, it's a mess with 9 of the 15 teams being under 500, and just not a lot of talent per usual in the Eastern Conference. So here's a look at the numbers. Obviously, Udoka Azubuike's are inflated. You got to remember he's played like 4 games, and he didn't even play all that well in those 4 games efficiency-wise. But other than that, nothing too crazy here. Nothing has really changed statistically other than some of the players on the team, I guess. You're not going to see Larry Nance and Dante Exum anymore, and instead it'll be Jeremy Grant and Trey Lyles. So here's a look at our current draft pick situation. We didn't really acquire many draft picks, but we did add a second this year, so we do have the second rounder now. And in case we continue to win games, we still have the insurance of getting a potential top draft pick if the Rockets continue to lose. So let's hope the Rockets don't win many games for the rest of this season. I think currently they are the 4th worst team in the entire league standings-wise, so hopefully they continue to play bad. So entering the trade deadline, there are 2 prime candidates on this team to get shipped off. Maybe we trade one of them, maybe we trade both, maybe we trade neither. The first one is Andre Drummond, who has been named as an All-Star for the 3rd time in his career. Drummond is on the final year of his contract and is an unrestricted free agent this summer. Offensively, he's been very efficient from the field and the free-throw line. Defensively, he's been fairly solid as well. However, statistically, he has had better seasons. And then there's also Kevin Love, who has put up his least amount of points per game since his 2nd season in the league, was demoted to the bench after Obi Toppin outplayed him. Considering what the Cavs traded for Andre Drummond last year, he does not have that much value, and neither does Kevin Love. He's a 32-year-old forward who is on a very player-friendly contract, so I don't think we would get a lot for either of them, but hopefully we could get a fairly solid trade package. So I've got some pretty big news. The Kevin Love era in Cleveland is no more. He is being shipped off along with Dylan Windler, who's been in the G League all season. I believe he is a 76 if you don't count in morale, which is non-existent as you can see. Trey Lyles is also in the trade package. I know he was just acquired, but this team really values Trey Lyles, and they value Dylan Windler and Kevin Love more than most teams, and that team is the Atlanta Hawks. What will the Cavs be receiving? They're giving up 3 valuable players. The main addition will be forward Cameron Reddish. Reddish has only played 7 games this season, and it feels as if the Hawks have given up on him. So Kevin Love, Dylan Windler, Kadeem Allen, Trey Lyles, a trade exception, which is $4.2 million worth of Dante Exum's contract, and the second rounder this year from the Timberwolves, going to the Hawks in exchange for Cam Reddish, Dwayne Dedmon, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Chris Dunn, and the Hawks' first-round pick this year, which is unprotected. The Hawks are 32-23, so that won't be a great pick, probably low 20s. I think this is a really good move for both teams. Atlanta, they are competing for a playoff spot. They clearly don't value Reddish, and they're getting a slightly worse young small forward in Dylan Windler. They're adding Trey Lyles, and obviously they are adding Kevin Love. Apparently, they really wanted to swap Lyles for Chris Dunn. Like, I was trying to do the original trade package without those two, but they really wanted Trey Lyles, and I think Chris Dunn is a fine addition to the Cavs. So Dylan Windler should get some playing time on this team, probably more than Reddish. And Kevin Love will likely be the main backup power forward. John Collins is hurt, but he will return soon. But Collins is a free agent this summer, and I don't think the Hawks want to pay him the max contract. And I think there's got to be at least one team who probably would give him a max. So Kevin Love can provide some stability at that position for these next few seasons. And then for the Cavs, they get younger and they get out within a big contract. Chris Dunn is a solid point guard who provides good NBA minutes. Offensively, he's not great, but he's one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. And obviously, the big acquisition is Cameron Reddish, who is only 21 years old. He still has a lot of potential. There's a logjam at small forward with acquiring Reddish and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, but, I mean, these are four talented players, and they'll all find ways to get playing time. So here's a look at the rotation. You got to remember Jeremy Grant is injured. He will be back soon, so this is for rotation without Jeremy Grant. The starters are Dunn, Sexton, Porter, Toppin, and Drummond. Darius Garland is getting more minutes than anybody on the entire team, and he's coming off the bench. And that's mainly because starters still get more minutes than you project them to, and bench players get less. So I want Darius Garland to play more than Chris Dunn, but I want Garland to come off the bench because I think Chris Dunn is a better fit alongside Colin Sexton than Darius Garland is. The other players getting minutes off the bench will be Cedi Osman, Cam Reddish, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Udoka Azubuike. Once Jeremy Grant comes back, we can reassess the rotation. Maybe we run an 11-man rotation. Maybe we just play small ball and have Obi Toppin and Jeremy Grant get minutes at center and not play Udoka. Maybe we add Dwayne Dedmon into the equation. There are a lot of interesting scenarios with this. So once he comes back, it's going to be very interesting. So the Kevin Love trade is the only deal we will make at the trade deadline. Andre Drummond will remain in Cleveland, and there's no more trading until the offseason. So I would have played this first game with the new team against the Clippers, which we almost won. We were up 17 going into the fourth quarter and somehow choked it. Andre Drummond with his 23 rebounds is unfortunately not enough to get the win. Garland with 23 off the bench. Obi Toppin leads the team with 25. But the main reason why I didn't want to play this game is because the next game is against the Atlanta Hawks. And obviously that is significant considering Kevin Love was just traded to the Hawks. There is Colin Sexton and Chris Dunn walking into the stadium looking like middle-aged dads coming home from their sucky job. But nonetheless, the 32-23 Hawks set to take on the 23-30 Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, it's no secret these two teams made a pretty big trade. Dwayne Dedmon, KCP, Chris Dunn, Cameron Reddish, all with the Cavs. Chris Dunn is getting the start. For Atlanta, they now have Trey Lyles, Dylan Windler, Kadeem Allen, and of course, Kevin Love, who was the final player from the 2016 championship roster that remained on this Cavs team. So that means nobody on that championship team is still here. Let's go first quarter. Look at the lob for a rookie out of Dayton. Obi Toppin throwing it down. That was Sexton with the pass. 6-4 is your score. Chris Dunn with it at the top of the key. Dunn did not score in that Clippers game, so that is his first basket as a Cleveland Cavalier. 8-6 now. Sexton inside for the big fella Drummond. He's denied by Clint Capella. And then Trae Young has the easy three that he would make. Trae Young would prove to be a problem for this Cavs defense. You'll see that first-handed later. DeAndre Hunter going one-on-one with Darius Garland. Garland just doesn't even try as Hunter gets the layup. 13-8. There's Obi Toppin with the and one. Hunter, the former ACC Defensive Player of the Year for the University of Virginia, with the and one. So a few plays later, Darius Garland would be fouled. And as you can see, Kevin Love is checking into the game. He would get a standing ovation from the crowd. And usually when you have these tributes, usually the player is gone for like multiple months. Kevin Love was on this team a week ago. as John Collins is blocked by Azubuike, but does get it back at the buzzer in time. Kevin Love now for three, his first basket against his former squad. Atlanta looking good early as it's 22-13. This Cavs offense just does not seem to have a lot of chemistry right now as Tyrese Halliburton gets the slam. But 2/3 of this roster was not on the team a month ago. So, I mean, you can't really be surprised that it's going to be ugly offensively. There's a nice mid-ranger by the former NBA champion, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, as Cameron Reddish misses the three ball at the end of the first quarter. Atlanta looking good on both sides of the floor. They lead at 30-17. Cleveland's offense just needs time to gel. It makes sense. There's going to be some ugly moments, and there's going to be some good moments as well. Cleveland moving the ball around nicely as KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, makes the three. 32-24. Here's Trae Young making it look easy, getting the floater over Obi Toppin inside. 34-26 now. Here is Kevin Huerter trying to drive past Sexton over to Trae Young for three, extending the Hawks' lead as Colin Sexton with the lob for the big fella. Andre Drummond going upstairs where Grandma hides the cookies. 39-28. Young gets the screen and is getting mean. Trey ball for Trey once again. 42-28 now. Here's Kevin Porter Jr. with the slam as Porter will make the lead a 12-point deficit. Here is Trae Young inside. Good defense by Garland. However, Young gets the offensive rebound and the putback as it is now 48-38 with a little bit over a minute and a half to go in the half. As Trae Young gets past Udoka Azubuike for the layup. Young again on the drive. He gets the and one. What a second quarter it has been for Trae Young. Atlanta leads it by 15 with under a minute to play. Young, tightly guarded by Garland, shoots that one over Azubuike, and it goes in anyway. 57-42. Young now on the fadeaway, misses the three that time, but John Collins gets the rebound, and the former Belmont Bear, Dylan Windler, with the shot. Windler did not play an NBA game with the Cavs. He made his NBA debut as a member of the Atlanta Hawks, which is kind of funny. Reddish misses the three at the buzzer once again, as the Atlanta Hawks are looking good through the first half. Cleveland played a little bit better offensively in the second quarter, but still not great. Trae Young with 26 points in the first half. He has absolutely been torching this Cavalier defense. They have no answer for him right now. As we go to the second half, Atlanta just needs to hold on if they want to get this victory. As Clint Capella with it, guarded by Drummond. Going to pass it inside for the cutting Trae Young, who misses it. Chris Dunn with the defense. However, Capella gets the rebound and the putback. 61-46. Here's Kevin Huerter. LeVar Ball sits Daniel Lane, but there's nobody in that lane, and Huerter makes the layup. 63-46. Here's Sexton with a step back from deep. Getting the three. The weatherman predicted heavy rain, but he's not done. Sexton with some sexy dribble moves inside for the layup. 65-53. There's a nice basket by John Collins, extending the lead to 14 for Atlanta as Chris Dunn with the and one. Dunn's bread and butter is not offensively, but he has looked better on this side of the floor today than he did in the Clipper game, as at least scoring-wise, he's actually making shots. 11-point deficit in favor of Atlanta as Trae Young gets the open three. The Cavs really tried to change up their defense in the second half. In the first half, they were mainly focused on man. In the second half, they were experimenting with 2-3 zones and 3-2 zones, and I think they've looked fairly solid defensively so far here in the third, as KPJ with the and one. DeAndre Hunter makes the three, but I will say Atlanta has really struggled from deep here in the third quarter. DeAndre Hunter especially has missed multiple open threes for the most part. Good putback there by Cameron Reddish. 75-65. Open from deep is Kevin Love. He misses it. Cleveland with the rebound. Here's Cameron Reddish taking it coast to coast, and he gets the and one. Cavs doing a nice job offensively, drawing contact, and Cam Reddish will make this just a 5-point deficit now as Kevin Love open from the corner. He connects from deep. Now an 8-point lead for the Hawks. Cavs having a nice quarter, especially on the offensive end of the floor, as Kevin Love makes the layup. Hand in the face from Drummond, but it won't stop him. 82-74. Reddish Pulling up from deep, no good, but Drummond with the rebound. He has 14 boards in this game and comes swooping in for the slam. What a play by Drummond. 82-76 near the end of the quarter. It's for rookie out of Iowa State, Tyrese Halliburton, with the basketball, guarded by Caldwell Pope. Screen from Herter, inside for Kevin Love. Nice defense by Drummond as the shot is no good. And what was a 17-point deficit at halftime has now turned into just a 6-point lead for the Hawks. Good quarter for Cleveland. Let's see if they can keep it up in the fourth as Kevin Herter is more wide open than a Wendy's drive-thru at 5 o'clock in the morning, making the three. 85-78. This time it's Love open in the corner. Part of these zones, the Hawks have been able to find the open man from deep. And as I said, they haven't really been executing for the most part, but they have gotten multiple threes to go in as Kevin Porter Jr. makes the tray ball. Obi Toppin with a loose ball foul, but it won't really matter. 91-83 now. Herter inside for a wide open Kevin Love, and his shot will toilet roll in for the three. 94-85. This time it's Herter, and Atlanta's doing a better job from deep here in the fourth quarter. Trae Young now with it. He's had a quiet second half in comparison to his first half, that is, as Young gets the driving floater. 98-87. Now it's 102-89 with about 4.5 minutes to play. Obi Toppin with the alley-oop. Cavs only down by 12. There's Sexton inside for the slam. Colin Sexton with 13 points right now here in the second half alone. And Cleveland is only down by 10. Here is John Collins with it. He's not known as much of a shooter, but he will pass it inside for Trae Young, who is clobbered by Andre Drummond. That's an and one. 106-95 now. Cleveland trying to pass it around as here's Andre Drummond with the slam. He now with a double-double here in this one. Drummond has 7 assists, by the way. He could hypothetically get a triple-double in this game. Now at 9 assists, he just needs one more, and he will get it. Inside for Kevin Porter Jr. Drummond with the triple-double, and it's a 9-point lead for Atlanta with 22 seconds to go. Cleveland needs a quick basket. Sexton heaves up a prayer, and it goes in. Cavs only down by 6 after a foul. Atlanta would make a pair of free throws. 106 to 114, as Sexton over to Garland. Garland to Kevin Porter Jr. He's going to attempt the three, no good. Andre Drummond does get the putback, not that it really matters. Cavs down by 6 with 1.2 seconds to go as Andre Drummond is unable to foul Trae Young in time, not that it really matters. The Atlanta Hawks win a close one. 108 to 114 is your final. The Cavs played well in the second half, especially in that third quarter, and then even in the fourth quarter, they looked good for the most part, and the team got better as the game went along. Colin Sexton with 22 and 7, including 18 in the second half. Andre Drummond with his first career triple-double. He's played in over 650 NBA games. He's gotten Lord knows how many double-doubles, but he's never gotten a triple-double. He's never gotten double-digit assists until today. But you're not going to win many games when you go 4 for 18 from 3. Trae Young with 40 points in this one, 17 of 27 from the field. Only 4 for 11 from 3. As I mentioned, the Hawks were not that great from deep. Kevin Love in his return to Cleveland only played 13 minutes, but was able to make the most of them with 16 points. DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Herter, and John Collins also in the double figures. Atlanta shot 11 for 30 from 3, so not great, but I guess better than 4 for 18. So we're going to move up to the All-Star break, and that'll conclude today's episode. Next episode, we'll briefly go over the All-Star events. We won't play the full Rising Stars or the full All-Star game or anything. We did show the rosters in the last episode. Obviously, Andre Drummond is our only All-Star. He's on Team Giannis. And I think Team Steph is probably going to win the game by a fairly big margin. They have more talent on their roster, in my opinion, but it should be a fun game. The dunk contest, look at this. Zion Williamson facing off against Ja Morant. That's a fun battle. John Collins and Miles Bridges also in the event. Those guys can throw it down, but I think we're here for Zion and Ja. The three-point contest, we got Luka, Dame, Kemba, Devin Booker, and 2 other players who I did not have the time to read. Luka Doncic is shooting 47% from 3. My God. So we have 2 players in the Rising Stars game, Kevin Porter Jr. and Obi Toppin, both of whom will be representing Team USA. This matchup, obviously, between first and second year pros, so you got a lot of rookies and a lot of sophomores in here. So that'll end the episode. I know only one game, but I wanted to save a segment for the trade deadline. We only had 2 games today, losing both of them, but despite that, we are still the 8th seed. We're 8 games under 500, but we still comfortably have this playoff spot. It's like nobody wants it. Hope everybody enjoyed the episode. Make sure to like and subscribe. Stay safe. Peace out.